Well, howdy, minions. Welcome to the lair. All right. Glad to see a few of you folks already in here. That's cool. Let me check a couple settings real quick. Okay, that looks good. It looks real good. Move this tab over here. Beautiful. So, good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm excited to be here today. Last week of my vacation. I am off today through Sunday before we go back to work and things start getting a little crazy, but that's all good. Let's see who we got in here. Of course, my man Gonzo, one of my moderators, is here. He says, "What's up, Eionan?" Will B is in. I believe Will said, if I'm correct, yeah, he's prepping some dinner, so he'll probably be listening for a little bit. But welcome in to you, sir, as always. Yeah, he says, I'm gonna smoke some wings. Okay, cool. Dig it, man. Dig it. Always appreciate you being here. Iggy's in the house, one of my faithful minions. She says, at Jason Brown, hashtag be up. Absolutely, man. Spread that be up hashtag around the web. And hopefully we will have a good turnout for Jason Brown's auction at the end of the month. I'm excited. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Let us see who else we got. I got 13 people in the stream here in the first minute, so that's not too bad. People are starting to fill in. I like it a lot. Got lots of comments in. I'm stoked for story time tonight. I might have two stories. We'll see how the time goes. But I've got a couple of stories on my list here, and I will pick at least one of them, but probably two. We'll see if we have enough time. Michael Morgan, my other moderator extraordinaire, is in the house. Michael Morgan says, "Minions assemble." That's right. Thank all you guys, all my minions, for being here tonight. Let's see who else we got who's jumped in. Blazeburger, another person who is here every week, going on pocket droppers. We're doing pretty good this week. Let's see who else we got. So we got Blazeburger, we got Iggy, we got Mimo, we got Budget Guy. Haven't seen you, man, in a couple weeks. Good to see you stop by, brother. Good to see you stop by. I've been kind of on a little mini hiatus. Had a few weeks worth of knife reviews in the can for the channel, and just trying to do the Tuesdays. I did do the Saturday live. That went off pretty well. I didn't really have a lot of content prepared for that, but I just pushed some stuff back into it, so that was all right. Iggy says she has a question. She says, "Are you a two-eyed minion or a one Mimo?" I bet Mimo's a one-eyed minion. I bet he is. I'm a two-eyed minion. I have enough trouble seeing with two eyes. I wouldn't be able to do it with one. Mike Reese, another one of my minions, is in the house tonight. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Very good to see you. Before I get too far into the broadcast, we're just a few minutes in, but I always like to say thank you to everybody who showed up so far, to my two moderators, Mimo and Gonzo. They always do an awesome job for me. Good friends. I love both of those guys. Everybody here who's in the live tonight and every week, people who are watching on mobile devices, people who are listening after the fact. If you are tuning into my lives and even doing a rebroadcast of it, I greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to hit the like button for me while you are here. So if you're listening, live chatting, replaying on a mobile device, whatever it is, thank you for being here. Let's see who else has popped in here, because it says there's almost 20 people in the stream. Cool. Zachariah OTT is in the house tonight saying hello. Native Wild Man is here. He says, "Hello, Eionan's Edge and everyone. I'm cooking dinner." That's okay, brother. Right? Don't burn dinner. You can always listen. Hit the like button. Lots of greetings going on. I like that. That's always good. Seeing plenty of these be up hashtags in here. One from Blazeburger, one from Michael Morgan, one from Gonzo. People greeting other people. I like it. Bobo Schnoggins. How you doing, my friend? Good to have you in here. Another minion has assembled tonight. They do have some minor news along with a few other things. There will be a 5 and 5 5 and 5 tonight. Let's see what else we got. Laura Gillespie, how you doing? She says, I made it. LOL. I'm glad you made it. I miss you being in here. So it's good to see you. Glad you're back. We will have a few things. We will have some pocket checks, some 5 and 5. We will have some shout outs to some people. Chat topic question. I will talk about Halloween and Christmas / the holidays. And we will also have a story time before I go off the air tonight. So stick around, folks. It should be a pretty good live stream tonight. We got Freak Show just joined in. What's up, Jeremy? Howdy, howdy. Some waves, a couple ice cold beers. I'll be having one of those with my tacos afterwards. Got some beer left over from the meetup, so that's good. Jason Brown Memorial Raffle, yes, absolutely. We definitely want everybody to know about that. I think most of the people who subscribe to my channel are in the know about the Jason Brown raffle, but it never hurts to throw up a link anyway. More greetings going on. Yeah, good to have you here, Laura. It's always fun to see you in here. There he is. There is Grumpy Grunt. There is the Angry Monkey. Thanks for dropping in, brother. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. Gonzo greeting people, Laura greeting people, Iggy greeting people, Bobo's greeting people. Zachariah says, y'all see that Best Tech Loch Ness on White Mountain Knives? Kind of interesting, maybe too interesting. Looks a lot like the No Guard they did. White Mountain Knives. Let's take a quick peek here. Hold on. I will check it out. This is called the Loch Ness, huh? Well, let me go see what it looks like. I'm not familiar with that one. White Mountain Knives. Search. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Why is it not coming up? I will find it. Don't worry. Interesting. It's expansive. Damn. It looks like it comes in a lot of different colors and styles. Let's go with this first one for now. And I will do a share so you guys can see what he is talking about. Let's do that. Let's do share screen, Chrome tab, and let's do why is that not coming up? What the hey? There it is. Okay. It says dropping October 18th. So here it is. This is what it looks like. Not too bad looking. Got an interesting looking blade on it, though. I guess that's why they're calling it the Loch Ness, like the Loch Ness Monster. There's like 8 different colorways on the website for that knife, too. So I had not seen that yet, but it is pretty cool. $314, M390, stonewashed finish, G10 and titanium. Okay. I mean, that's a fair price. I mean, that's pretty much in line with what I would expect a Best Tech knife to be in that blade configuration with a cool looking set of scales. But I dig it. Let's see what else we got going on here. Blazeburger says, wait, stop. No yellow pill. Something happened to it. Is it in timeout? I'm not sure what that's all about. Sorry. You lost me there, brother. You lost me. Let me pull this back up a little bit, make the screen a little bigger. Shout out to ProX1840, Brother Bill. That is true. Shout out to Brother Bill. This has been, the loss of Jason has definitely been a shock to all of us. Still, at times, trying to deal with not seeing him around, but I know Bill is definitely, probably taking this amongst the hardest besides his wife and his kids and family. Let's see. Matisfactions here says testing. We hear you, brother. We got you. Big shout out. Testes. Yeah, it works. Okay, good deal. Let's see who else is in here. Testing 1 2, Bladesburger says. Testing 1 2. Wow, man. So yeah, so we got a pretty good group of people. There's Bang Bang, and he's throwing out some greetings. Another one of my minions. We got Mike Jernak in the house. G-Ball, woohoo! Mike Jernak's here, throwing out some love for G-Ball. Help. Did someone help? Did I make up a yellow pillow? Did I make up a yellow pillow? Swear I saw. Oh, no. You're talking about on the couch. Yeah, there's one. I just moved them. I just move them around. We don't in this house. We have pillows on both of our couches, but they are for us to lay on and be comfortable with. So they go wherever the hell on the couch we want them. So sometimes they get swapped around. You know what I mean? We swap them around. But they're the yellow ones. There's 2 yellow ones on the other end of the couch. So you did not make a mistake. It is not a fixed background. That is. These are real pillows, folks. Anyway, yes, no. The yellow pillow's just out of the frame at the moment. Speaking of out of the frame. So you guys know I bought a mic recently. And I was talking about I'm going to upgrade my camera, preferably by the end of the year or early next year. And then Neil, one of my good friends and former coworkers who I used to work with and who loves records and knives like I do, he apparently has one of those cameras and he's willing to loan it to me to try out. So I'm picking that up this week. I just ordered a articulating camera boom to put over here so my camera can be at a better angle. And I will hopefully next week be broadcasting with a very nice camera. And we'll see how that works because I really want to pick one up. Okay, so what else have we got going on here? Where did I leave off? Man, this chat, I got to catch up. I'm pulling a Matisfaction. I'm like way behind on the chat. Yes, please go sub to G-Ball. Speaking of which, hello, G-Ball. Hello, Bang Bang. Those guys just jumped in here too. Let's see. Grumpy's throwing out some more shout outs to Brother Bill. And let me throw out a few shout outs while I'm here. I've got some shout outs here as well. So here are my shout outs. I would like to shout out Mrs. Edge, first of all. So tomorrow is the 12th and final chemo treatment of stage 1 of her first phase. So that's a good thing. It has been a little tough this last week and a half. It's definitely hit her a lot harder. She's struggled to sleep and to, get enough rest and to get enough liquids in and things like that. But she's doing good. And tomorrow is her last one. And she'll get a 2-week break before she starts sort of the harder chemo, which she won't do quite as often, but it's a little tougher. So we're not there yet, guys. But the good news is we're going to get 12 of 12 tomorrow, and hopefully with a couple weeks of rest and her recuperation, she will get better and be ready for the second phase before, which she has to do before she can have the surgery. But anyway, a shout out to my lovely wife. She makes a lot of things run behind the scenes. Some of you guys know, some of you don't, but if you don't know, trust me, she's as big a part of this channel in a lot of ways, if not more so than I am. So a big shout out to my wife. And your thoughts and prayers are always appreciated because we got a little ways to go. I want to shout out Gonzo. Gonzo and I traded some knives recently. I'm going to be showing those off tonight too, among other things. I want to shout out Cue Ball, my brother Chris. He lost his cat, a pet who he's had for a long, long time today. He took the cat in. It was sick for a while. Let's just say if Cue Ball doesn't show up tonight, I totally understand. I get it. But anyway, I'm very sorry to hear that because pets are just like family members a lot of times, and it's tough to lose a pet that you had a long time. So shout out to my good friend Cue Ball. I'm sorry, brother, for that loss. I really am. I want to shout out Uncle Cow as always. I know he's still going through some life things, and I know he watches a lot of my lives after the fact, and I greatly, greatly appreciate that, brother. So shout out to you, and I hope your situation changes. And Papa Rhino as well. He is sending me a few things to look at. right? A mail pack, some mail out here to the Edge residents, and I will hopefully be able to share that stuff with you in some coming weeks and hopefully some coming reviews. All right, so that's all I got for shout outs for now. So let's see what else we got going on here, because man, I am not caught up with these comments at all. DLT's got a new Griptilian. Yeah, Michael Morgan says he's sending us messages with Willow weekly pillow arrangements. I'm going to do something with that one of these weeks. Although I'll have to do that before the new year kicks in because there's a big surprise coming for the channel. Dealing with an infernal cut on the crook of my thumb. Oh, that always sucks. I hate when you got cuts in places that you use all the time. Hey, man, Crazy glue or Loctite gel is what I use. Loctite gel is your friend, baby. Right? When I used to be a musician, I used to put that on my fingertips. If I had to play and my fingers were all raw from practicing, I would crazy glue my fingertips and then sand them down with a file. And I do that when I get cuts, real bad cuts. I'll just squeeze it together, clean it out, a little crazy glue gel, take a nail file, sand it down, instant fix. Let's see. Eionan lives on the edge 24/7. Straight thuggin'. Want yellow? Bam. Yellow. Want red? Left on the couch. Bam. Done. Dang, it feels good to be a gangster. I love you, Matt Faxon. I did miss you at the meetup, man. Speaking of that, oh my God, that's the other shout out I meant to. I had that for later in the notes. I wanted to mention Cheapskate. She's been sick for a couple weeks now, and I know Matt's been having to take up a lot of slack with the kids and other stuff. But I hope Kate is finally getting better and maybe on the downward side of the hill from that. So let's keep her in our thoughts as well. Yep. G Ball says, shout out to Bill. Yep, to Pro X. Add me to the list for the pillow memo. Blue, red, blue. So be right back. But he's here, or is he? That's true. Maybe it's not really me. Maybe it's just a fictitious version of me, a virtual version of me. Cool. New camera, knives, all toys. Yeah, new cameras. The camera thing's something I've been thinking about for a while, but it's just a little bit out of my budget for right now. But we'll see. Neil's going to loan me this camera, and it's similar to the one I'm interested in. So we'll see what happens. Shout out to Mrs. Edge. Prayers and thinking about Mrs. Edge. Yes, that is very cool. Like I said, just one more week, and she's going to get a little break. Not a huge break, but a little break. 2 weeks, and then we'll be back at it. Papa Rhino is in the house. Good evening, all you fine folks. Good evening to you, sir, as well. Be up for Jason. That's right. We've been throwing that hashtag around. That was back at the top of the chat. So definitely, I'm trying to skim through here, guys. Yep. Pets are family. I totally agree. Still miss my meows. Yep. I mean, I lost 4 greyhounds. I used to have 4 rescued racing greyhounds that I adopted, and it was really tough seeing them go. But yes, Michael Morgan also threw up this. It says eonansedge.creatorspring.com. I do have my own merch site. That is right there. That's on the bottom, streaming now. So very cool with that. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Just got in from kayaking. All right, and you're coming into my live. Cool. I dig it. I dig it. Yes. Yep. Thoughts and prayers for Matt's wife, Kate, as well. It's not life-threatening, but it's something serious that's very painful. So Grumpy says, if I didn't say hi earlier, he's saying hi to a few extra people. Josh Branson is in the house. Another minion has arrived at the Minion's lair. Speaking of that, real quick, before I get into pocket checks, although you guys can start throwing them up now if you want, I would like to ask you guys to do something for me. I mentioned this on the Saturday Live. If you don't already know, if you do not already know, if you use Instagram, please add the hashtag Minions Carry Knives to your posts to help create a spot for all Minions Instagram posts on Instagram. There's already like 30 posts over there. I threw a few up to get it started. A bunch of other people have participated. It doesn't affect where your stuff goes. It just makes sure that anything you tag with Minions Carry Knives, which will be my channel and your Instagram hangout, So you'll be able to go see knives that other channel members and supporters have posted under that hashtag. So let's do it. I got the idea from Cole wanting to blow up a pocket check hashtag last week on his live. And I said, I should have a hashtag for my channel, right? I should have a place where people who watch Eionan's Edge that are among my minions, that are the minions here, can go and post their stuff. And it will still post everywhere else on Instagram, but it will also drop all of your stuff that you hashtag with Minions Carry Knives over to that spot. So check it out the next time you're over there. Think about tagging that on the end of your hashtags, as well as Be Up for Jason Brown. We definitely want to spread that around the community. So thank you very, very much. All right, so what else have we got going on here? Let's go back. Comments are building up again. I'm falling behind. I forgot the hashtag. Minions Carry Knives. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, they may scrub the whole hashtag if they see yours, Grumpy, but yeah, whatever you want to do, brother. Any phallic looking object can go over there. I probably shouldn't say that. You'd be crazy enough to post a picture of. All right. Josh Branch, my sister found a lump on her breast and didn't get good news today for sure. I have very hard word about Josh. Oh my God, Josh. So it's basically the same thing that Mrs. Edge is going through. She missed one mammogram. One. This past one. And then found a lump in her breast. So it's no joke. Go get it checked out right away. My thoughts and prayers are with her because there's lots of different types. Mrs. Edge has a very bad type that's very aggressive, but the sooner that she starts getting it taken care of, the better her chances will be. So go out to you and your sister for sure. That's terrible news. It's just about the worst news you can get. Nate Wildman, he already threw up his pocket check. He said petrified fish, cold steel counterpoint one, case minifin, and a brown Stockman wallet. I also wanted to shout out Wildman as well. Him and I did a transaction on a knife this week that he seems to really like. So that's cool. And Mrs. Edge made him a handkerchief, which he displayed, which has fish on it. So, and he got a fidget ball from her. So she really likes him as much as I do. So, yeah. Happy birthday to you, brother. But yes, so let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, Jason Branson, that knife sucks. Knife Nut 69 is in the house. Thanks for coming in. Craig Hamilton's in the house. So go ahead and throw up your pocket checks, folks. Here's another thing I would like to do as part of pocket checks. Is there one EDC item as part of your pocket check that you have to have in your pocket every day? Right? Is there something besides just carrying a knife that you absolutely have to have with you? I've asked people what their most used thing is. And for me, it's actually a flashlight, not a knife. But if there's something that you have to put in your pocket every single day, I would like to know what it is. So let's get back to some of the pocket checks here. Yes. Don't send your trots or snake pictures to Minion Scared. Grumpy's crazy enough to do it, but I don't think he will. But anyway, I don't want to tempt him. But Wilby is carrying the Grimsmo Norseman, the Benchmade 950 Rift, very cool. Kaiser Bag Leader XL, Sabibi Chevalier, Olight Baton 3, and a Karis Volt V2 in blue and brass. That is a pen. Let's see. Any more? Smash that like button. Yes, please smash the like button. So there are 32 people in here. There's only 17 likes. Yeah, you guys are slacking. If you came in here and forgot to hit the like button, go over there and smash the like button for me, please. Don't forget to do that. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. I didn't go anywhere without my Norseman. It's the only thing I always have. Okay, so that's it for you. That knife. That's a knife you got to carry. I got it. So Gonzo today is carrying the Demco 8020.5, the Benchmade Mini Grip. That might be the one he got from me. That was my very first mini grip. That was the second Benchmade knife I bought. And I've carried that knife for a few years off and on now, and that's been in and out of my pocket, but it's in really great shape. I just put a brand new pocket clip on it and put a little touch up on the edge. And I ended up trading that to Gonzo for a couple knives, which you're going to see that I got from him. Yep. So let's see. Bang Bang says he's rocking his Devo Stout. I love the Devo Stout. I'm so glad I got a chance to get one. Speak of the devil, Neil McKenzie is in the house. My good friend Neil is in the house. Neil is going to be loaning me a Canon T5i that I'm going to hopefully be doing my next live stream with on next Tuesday. And we'll see how that works out. I'm very excited. I was thinking about buying a T7i, but I think a T5 might work, and I will get to try that out. It will be better than the webcam I have, hopefully, and we'll see how that works. So big shout out to my boy Neil. He's going to hook me up and let me try a nice camera. And we'll see how that works. Mike Reese has the Kaiser Cormorant in titanium, a QSP Hawk, a Rosecraft a Judah. I have one of those coming as part of the Apex group to review soon. Baton 3, and he says, I always have to have chapstick, flashlight, and knives. So, right. So no matter what you put in your pocket every day, there's always a knife, there's always a flashlight, there's always chapstick. My wife doesn't ever go anywhere without Burt's Bees wax. She calls it chapstick, but she only uses Burt's Bees, right? Budget guy, haven't carried since yesterday. I carry left. Yesterday I carry left, but I can't pick up a knife right now. Oh, right, because of your hand. I got you. Yeah, so that makes sense. Michael Morgan has the Hogue X5 button lock. Yes, Harpoon Spear Point CBM 152 blue aluminum handle. You posted a short of that today. It's a freaking gorgeous knife. I'm going to get a Hogue Ballista button lock, probably in the blue. That is going to be one of the knives I pick up after I get through the holidays, I think. And we'll see how that goes because there's a couple of knives coming out soon. By the way, if you didn't catch it, Riggy Knives, the Jersey, which is over on my website, that knife, he is talking to the manufacturer about packaging options and a few other things. And that knife should be forthcoming, I think, before the end of this year. So keep your little piggy bank change aside because that's going to be around $190 something roughly for that knife, and it is not going to be one you want to miss. One that you want to miss out on. Mike Jernak said Smith and Sons Ox, very cool. Scott Ends throughout is in the house. One of my very faithful minions, and he runs Knife Tube. He is throwing out a whole bunch of greetings. Scott, throw out your pocket check. Let us know if there's one item that you absolutely have to have as part of your everyday carry, besides a knife, obviously. If there's something else besides your regular knife that you have to have with you every day, right? It could be just a knife. That's fine. But I'm interested to see if anybody has anything interesting that they have to make sure they carry. Bladesburger said, just a knife. Pocket feels empty without one. Okay, right. So you got to have one no matter what. It's like me. I can't imagine not having some kind of knife in my pocket, even if I'm just home hanging out watching TV and a pair of sweatpants. I usually still throw a SD Classic or a Tinker or a Cadet or something in my pocket just so I have a knife. I just can't walk around without one. Native Wildman said I hit like and shared you on my community tab. Yay! That's another thing. I'm trying to get to 500, so hopefully I can get a community tab. I'm not that far away, about 70 subs. Grumpy says he's carrying the drop Terzaula CTF, a work tough Nomad EDC Shaman, and a Kaiser drop bear. Have to carry a piece of Ninja Touch wood too. There you go. Iggy says, I always have my Leatherman squirt, my nimble liner lock, a Devo Stout, iron flashlight, refined pen, Mrs. Edge Hank, and a fidget slider. There you go. Right? So that's the thing. I think we get used to carrying certain stuff. I'll give you mine real quick. So for me, I have to carry a flashlight. I have to carry either an SD Classic or a Recruit or a Tinker because they're pretty much the same knife except for two tools really. They're pretty much the same knife. And then I usually have to carry a primary pocket knife. Now, some days I will carry a handkerchief depending on what knife I'm carrying. If it's got a satin blade, which you guys know I don't like, then I've got to carry a microfiber Mrs. Edge Hank so that I can wipe the fingerprints and all the crap off the blade. And A lot of days I might carry a second or a third knife, but the basic things are a flashlight, some kind of Victorinox knife, and a primary carry. Those are a must. I might have a coin one day, I might have a fidget ball, I might have a hank, but those three things I mentioned are pretty much always in my pocket. Let's see here. Freak show. Well, Jeremy's got a bunch of stuff tonight. I'll sit up and take a breath here. Devo Stout, Tempest Pinion, Benny's Clip, Laid Back Jack, Forest Hank, Light I5R, Leatherman Charge, plus Log and Jotter Notebook, multiple tactile turn pens. No must have, I rotate my gear. Okay, well, there you go. Fair enough, right? Brashear Bear, what's up, my man? Thanks for dropping in and being part of the Minions. He is carrying a Spartan Blades Aster. Very nice knife. That is also on my to buy list. Talos and the Aster are both knives that I want to buy. I would love to have a Spartan Harsey, but Spartan Harsey Saint, but it's a little more money. So the Talos is close I'm going to get for now, but the Aster is an awesome knife. Leatherman Wave Plus, Night Core EA1, and a Klein non-contact voltage tester needed for work. Very cool. Klein Tools non-contact voltage tester. I like it. Let's see what else we got going on here. Craig's throwing out some greetings. Brashear Bear's getting some love from the folks here in the chat. Let's see. Josh Brand says, I would love to get the grip and bug out blade Benchmades to go with my 940. Sorry, my eyes are a little dry tonight. Blazeburger says, carried the titanium variant. Kvist PE2, the Liner Lock Nimble, the Ohio River Jack, and Fat PP. Iggy throwing out some love from my boy Neil. Glad to have you in here tonight, even if it's just during your lunch break at work. Grumpy says he's doing not too bad. I hope you're doing well too, brother Craig Hamilton. Yeah, again, greetings getting thrown out. Gonzo says, holler, I got a full size and a mini. That's true. He does have a full size and a mini. We just did that trade. Craig is carrying a Tucson T-129 until about 30 minutes ago. The postman dropped off a new to me. Oh, Jaeger. Yeah. Okay. I'm a little bit more of a Maverick fan from CK, the Maverick S, but I like the Jaeger as well. That's a super cool knife. Just too many in that price point for me to have them all. Laura says, I too am carrying a knife I got from Gons, a concept Goblin and a Sencut Saxy. Well, first of all, both of those are freaking awesome knives. I would love to own both of them. The Sencut Saxy's in the budget price range. The Goblin's a little more expensive. And I never leave the house without my Angry Watermelon. Jason Brown gave you the Angry Watermelon. Well, yes, the sentimentality of it for sure. The Angry Watermelon is such a cool little conversation piece. That's something I throw in a fifth pocket when I'm carrying pants that have a fifth pocket in them. And a lot of times I'll carry that around. Somebody asks me if I have a knife, and I go, sure. And I go, and then they laugh. And then I take out a regular knife and hand it to them. And also a Spyderco Ladybug on my keychain. Awesome. Even if I don't have pockets, I clip my Norseman to the waistband. Okay. Right? That's just that. That's the Binky knife. I got it. Bang, bang. I'm just a knife guy all day. I swear I use my knife the most at home for the kids' toys or the stuff to open for my wife. Yeah. I mean, opening boxes and cutting cardboard is the biggest thing I do with my knives. At my job, I would say a couple times a week I cut rope. So, there's that. But I use a flashlight every single morning I go to work because I'm there. Like I've told you guys before, I'm the morning guy. I'm the setup guy. I'm the guy who gets up at 3:30 in the morning and goes to work at 4:30 or whatever it is. And I get everything going. So it's usually dark. So for me, a flashlight is something I have to have every single day. The smallest I can usually get away with is an i1R2 Pro, but most of the time I'll carry an i5R or an i3T or something like that, just so I have a good amount of light, so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Zachariah says, I pulled out the Heracus Blomerus HB07 today. I don't know what that is, man. I feel like I should go look it up, but I have a lot more comments to go through. I'll try to check it out later. Knife nut at work. I've got my Take of Knives, Tux XL, Phoenix E30R, Phoenix E30R, Refine EP1, and whatever knife I want to rotate in. Awesome. I like it. Hinderer Collector. What's up, Brent? What's up, Gerber Collector? My EDC Hinderer Eclipse BFPU Spear Point Texture Lock Side. Very nice. Scott says, today I carried the 8010. Well, it sat on the table next to me all day at work. Lately, I've been playing around with a Bally Song trainer, just a beginner. Yeah, trainer's a good idea. I watch people slice up their hands trying to learn how to use those. David Iverson is in the house. Another faithful minion has assembled here in the Minion's Lair. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think Gonzo says I always carry a pew-pew as well. Stay frosty, stay strapped. I am not allowed to carry a pew-pew at my job, but I carry one when I'm not at work. There's always one available to me, handy in the house. So I'm very often armed with more than just a knife. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Any more? Oh, well, David Iverson threw his in. He's got a ZT 0393 silver wash, case medium toothpick baby beat, Sally cord ball tapper, a Hinder Investigator pen, a Victorinox Alox Pioneer X, and Forrest Hank. Beard of Doom, BOD, has made it in time for pocket checks. Ha ha! Let's see. He said, I have a District 9 Catastrophe, a Bastion Knives Oblivion, EDC, Lone Star Hank, Lancelot Leather, Coin Slip and Coin, and an Olight I1 R2 Pro. Even though you put it in the wrong order there. Olight 1 IR2 Pro. I got you. I know what you got, brother. All right. So BOD says, making dinner but listening. Thank you, sir. We always appreciate you listening. Good to have Brant in the house tonight. BOD's in the house. We got a lot of folks in here. There's over 30 of you, so that's good. I'm going through the comments, trying to see what I got going on. Comments going out. Bobo Schnoggins is throwing some stuff out. Beard of Doom says, I also lost a $200 fidget today and nobody turned it in. That makes me sad. I think it sucks when you lose something at work and you know you lost it at work and it doesn't get turned in. Now, I didn't lose a $200 fidget, but I lost a $30 water bottle recently that had my name on it, that most people know belongs to me. And I left it in a Pro Gator, a John Deere Pro Gator. And I went on my 2 days off and I came back and it disappeared. Fucking gone. So I wasn't happy about that. I have a few of those water bottles, but still, they cost a lot of money. And I don't really want to have to go buy more of them. So it sucks because that happened at work. But losing a $200 fidget would really suck. I would be pissed. Neil says, I keep forgetting about the tiny SOG on my keychain. Yes, that counts, brother, right? That counts. My wife carries one of them 90s, little locking slip joints that locks, that's like this big. And then she also carries that new Olight Mini, the one that's magnetic that pops apart. I bought her one of those because she's terrible about keeping a flashlight on her person all the time. I got her to keep one at her desk in her craft studio, and there's one in her nightstand. Now she has one that she can pull off and use to open the door, or get her car keys, or whatever. So I think, having a flashlight is pretty much a must-have for me. Yeah, BOD, the Doom. Fate just wanted to make somebody's day to find such a treasure. Somebody's hopefully very appreciative. Yeah, they probably are. Hopefully they just found it, but you never know. Bang, bang, bang says, got to run, got to feed the kids. That's cleaning myself. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by, Bam Bam. Really appreciate it. You have a great evening. Again, thanks for stopping in. Always good to see you, man. Sorry you can't stick around. Everyone needs to check out Beard's story time. Okay, we'll have to check that. Real quick, before I jump into the next topic and some other stuff, I did want to mention, again, if you use Instagram, if you have an Instagram account, please consider adding the hashtag Minions Carry Knives to your post to help create a spot for all of the minions over on Instagram. All your posts will go there. They will go everywhere else that they're supposed to go, but they will also end up on that hashtag page. And if you go to that hashtag page, you can see everybody's knives that's tagged Minions Carry Knives, which will be my/your hashtag for your posts on Instagram. So go do that for me, please. Also, this is important. Since I've got 30 people in here at the moment, most of you guys, I need you to send me your words of the week. Please send your words of the week to me at eionansedge@gmail.com. Do not send them to my Instagram account. I'm not keeping track of them over there. Send them to eionansedge@gmail.com along with your YouTube username. If you happen to have an email address that has your real name on it, I need to know who you are here on YouTube. Send me whatever words you have. If you have at least 5, you will be entered in the contest. If you have them all, that's better. But send me whatever words you have, 5, 8, 10, 12, or maybe you've got all of them. I've decided all the entries must be received by November 30th. I will actually have Mrs. Edge at Christmas time, the holidays, when we do those drawings, she will be doing that drawing out of an actual bucket. So I will be putting actual entries for you in that she will draw. And you will finally get to see Mrs. Edge on camera with her little Santa's elf helper hat on. And she will be drawing the word of the week winner. So don't miss out. You got until November 30th. That's basically another month and a half to send me all your words. Okay. Otherwise, the prize pot's going to be really small and a few people will have a chance to win it all. And there will be 12. Count that, 12 giveaways. I should also mention this, since it's a little bit out of order. There'll be 12 things at Christmas, and there will be a knife and several Halloween-themed, handmade by Mrs. Edge handkerchiefs that I will be giving away on that Tuesday live before Halloween. So don't miss that, okay? And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to advertise it. It's not going on Instagram. It's not going on my YouTube page, other than to say it's the Halloween live. I'm not going to be talking about things that I might give to people because I want to keep the riffraff out. So I'm just letting you folks know right now that's how it's going to work. All right. Droby Tunes is in the house as well. He says, hey, E, hey, peeps. What's up? It's great to have another minion in here. Brashear Bear says flashlights are like knives. Now you can get a good quality one in the $25 to $50 range. You absolutely can. There are plenty of manufacturers out there making good quality lights in the $25 and up range for sure. All right, so Ant's here as well. What's up, man? I haven't seen you around a lot lately, but always good to have you in the stream, brother. Thanks for coming back in and joining the rest of the minions here in the lair. All right, so let's just jump along here. 5 and 5. Let's get to this. Let's get to some of the good meaty content. Right? We want some juicy stuff going on here. So let's talk about that real quick. So I don't have a 5 and 5 guest this week. I think G-Ball, you were supposed to get a hold of me. I think maybe next week we'll have you on to do the fixed blade portion that you wanted to do. So hit me up on Instagram or my email address, and we will coordinate that hopefully for next week. I hope to have a new webcam next week to use, courtesy of Neil McKenzie. But let's jump into this. So 5 knives, 5 knives in roughly 5 minutes or thereabouts. So I'm going to show you guys the 5 most recent knives that I got, starting with the oldest ones and moving to the newest ones. So we had the Arizona Knife Meetup back on October 1st. A few folks showed up. You might have seen the video I posted on my page and some of the photos I put up on Instagram. We had a lot of knives there. And basically, I got some knives recently. So let's start with those. So the first one is a really cool knife. This is a CJRB RIA. This is a RIA in AR RPM 9 and marbled carbon fiber. So this is a super cool looking knife. Really nice steel. Milled titanium pocket clip, satin blade, and marbled carbon fiber. And the cool thing about this is you can't see it here on the camera, but it actually has milling and texture on it. It has all this little micro milling all the way down the side of it. Listen. Can you guys hear that? So I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but there is micro milling all the way along this carbon fiber. Super cool little knife. It is in RPM 9 blade steel instead of 14 C28N. And it does have this beautiful marbled carbon fiber, super really cool knife. Literally drops closed. It'll almost drop on your finger. And it's got the nicer clip and the nicer carbon fiber. So I picked that up from Cue Ball at the Arizona Knife Meetup. And then another knife that I picked up. So here's a little better picture of the Rhea. There, you can see in this picture. I'm going to share this. You can see, I will share this. You will be able to see, share screen. You'll be able to see, where did it go? Here. So there you go, folks. I think you can probably see this now. If you look at this really close, you can see that there is milling all the way across this, which is really cool. I really dig this knife. That's a better shot of this knife. All right. So the next knife is going to be a knife that I also picked up at the Arizona Knife Meetup from Cue Ball. He has a lot of Tucsons, and he's been kind of thinning the herd. But this knife, this is a really cool little knife. This is the Tucson Ts-128. This knife is a titanium frame lock in S90V. And look at the milling that they did on the bottom of this, the top of this up here, and then they also on the carbon fiber side milled it. And I'll show you, I will share you a picture of that as well so you can check this out. This is a super cool knife. Let's go ahead and get a share on this bad boy so you can see what this looks like. I will fix this up for you. So there it is right there. There is that side of the knife. And here is the other side of the knife. So that milling that you see on the carbon fiber is actually on both sides. It's on the carbon fiber side, and that exact same milling, same pattern in the same places is on the titanium side of the knife too. So this is a super cool knife. It's S90V in a frame lock, and it's a good little size, man. You can get your hands on this bugger. It's got a nice wide spine, but S90V steel. Gotta love it. So anyway, that is number 2. That is the Tucson Ts-128. It's got a stone-washed blade and titanium and carbon fiber scales. Some of you, yes, it is a super nice knife. If you can find yourself one, I highly recommend picking one up. I was so impressed with it. I picked it up. I'm like, what? WTF? What the fuck is this thing? And then I started playing around with it at Knife Meetup, and it was in his for sale stack. And I was like, oh, I got to have this. I don't know what it's going to cost me, but I got to have this. And I'm glad I bought it. I've carried it a bunch already. I've taken it to work and used it a bunch of times. It holds obviously, S90V, it holds a fantastic edge. So no worries with that. Anyway, Ant says, yeah, I don't know what I left on the blade, but there were rust spots. Oh, no, that's never good. That's never good when you get rust spots on a knife, unless it's D2, because that's obviously pretty well known for rusting if you leave it around. All right, so knife number 3. Some of you have seen this. You might have seen this Saturday. I got this knife early last week, and a lot of you folks have ordered some of these and received them. The EMP EDC, a little oil on the blade there. The EMP EDC Nimble W. This one is in reverse tux. This is an absolutely gorgeous knife, just like most of their knives. And yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yeah. The sound is great. When this thing drops shut, yes. Woo, makes me tingle. Makes me tingling. Yeah, Rem oil is pretty good, but honestly, the best I think is, and I use Rem oil for protecting on a lot of my knife blades that I use regularly, but I use CLP on the knife blades that I just put away on knives that I don't use a lot, especially if they're a D2 or what is it there, a DC53 or something that's not a full stainless, I will put a little light, I will rub a few drops of CLP on it, right? I don't really use my knives to cut food all that often. And if I do, I'm going to wipe the blade off anyway. So it's not that big a deal. Yes, let's see that nimble W. I showed you the nimble W. I don't know, maybe I'm behind on the comments, but there it is again. There is the nimble W with some oil on the blade. I don't know where that came from, but gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Fit and finish is great. Oh, by the way, mine is, I don't know if you can see this. Will it show up? Mine is 007. It's not going to show up. 007, license to kill, baby. But I love this. I've already been carrying this a ton. Has the DNA of the original Nimble, but it has this beautiful Warncliffe blade and a bigger handle. So I totally dig it. And I am such a fan of the frag pattern that they use. It's just right. It's not sharp. It's not too much. Just right. Okay. So let's see. Where did I leave off here? I left off on knife number 3 or number 4. Knife number 4. So I got 2 knives in a trade this week with my man Gonzo. I gave him actually 3 knives, 2 regular knives and a smaller mini size knife. And he gave me back a knife that I was thinking about purchasing anyway. I wasn't going to buy the titanium scaled version of this, but I'm okay with the G10 one as well. This is the Damn Designs Banshee in stonewashed and black G10. What a freaking cool knife this thing is. And believe it or not, this little tab here on the blade, let me see if I can do it with, there we go. This little tab here on the blade actually works. This little cutout actually works. So we got a tie clip, nested tie liners with some lightning in there. And then we've got this really cool blade with jimping on the back of it, tantoed. I dig it. This was a knife I was already interested in anyway. I'm not usually a great fan of tantos, but this one definitely is pretty unique. And I love the way they did this front swage, so you really can almost really scrape with this knife. You can use this knife to scrape with if you really want to. But anyway, just got this in from my man Gonzo. We did a little trade on some knives, and the thing is drop shutting. Watch this. See if I can get this in front of the camera for you. Nothing wrong with that. I know that the full titanium versions of these knives have been made by Riat recently, so I don't know about the G10 ones. And then finally, honestly, I like the G10 Damn Designs better. I have no issues with them. I have a Hades from them that's G10. I have a Wraith, but that is the first gen. That's in carbon fiber. And I have 2 G10 ones besides this one. And then I have 3, I think, that are in full tie. And then finally, a knife that I wanted, I actually was going to try to buy from Gonzo at an earlier date or trade for it. It just didn't work out. I got the Yojimbo 2 in all black. And one of the things is I had only ever seen a Yojimbo. And I was like, wow, that's a big knife. And then I got the Yojimbo 2 in, and I was like, this is a good size. And you can, if you want, choke up to here very comfortably to this spot here and have a lot more room back there. But even in this main position, this is a very cool knife. And I was very much impressed with it. I wasn't sure how I would like this compression lock, but that's pretty cool, don't you think? You just basically squeeze the little button and go, and the knife falls shut. So I like that. That's the first compression lock I've had. I've had a couple of their lock backs and their frame locks, but that's my first compression lock. So that is the Yojimbo 2. So there you have it. Those are my 5 knives. Yeah, it's perfect. And I would agree. It is a good size knife. It is a very good size knife. I thought it was going to be bigger. And then when I took it out of the box, I went, oh, this is smaller than I thought. But I opened it and put it in my hand, and I'm like, actually, it feels really good. Really good. And I love the way they did this cutout. You can put your finger anywhere along here and feel comfortable. But I mean, this is like, I know it was designed as a defensive knife, but this thing is a great utility cutter. I already went out and ripped through some cardboard with it and then stropped it off and got it nice and sharp again after I was done. So thank you, brother, for a couple of cool knife trades. So that is my 5 most recent knives that I have picked up since the beginning of the month. I am enjoying them all immensely. And I thank Gonzo for the trade and also Cue Ball for selling me a couple of knives. And then obviously I got the EMP EDC Nimble W. Woo! That knife makes me very excited. Demon Ox in the house too. I didn't see him join the chat. Oh, there he is. But I see people. He says, "Hey, everyone." I see people greeting him. Brashir said, "Just curious, what glove size do you usually wear?" I wear a large. A large is a little bit tight across the palm for me because I have kind of big palms. But otherwise, my hand size is basically a large. Some weird gloves I have to wear an extra large, but basically a large glove size is what I have. Darnell's in the house too. There's another one of my minions. He says, "Good evening to you. Hi to you and the missus. Hopefully you're both doing well. Mrs. Edge is doing great. Tomorrow is chemo 12 of 12 for the first chemo session. And then she's going to get a 2-week break and she will start the second and final, hopefully, chemo session, which will be less frequent, but will run for about 3 months. And then she will be able to get a short break and go in for the surgery. And then after that, we will hopefully be on the downward side of that large mountain that we've been climbing. But she is definitely more tired. She's more beat up. She's struggling with fatigue more and getting enough liquids just because she's tired a lot and she forgets what she drank. So, but she's doing good with that. She's been logging it, and she's one more treatment tomorrow, and then she's going to get a little breather, a little time to recover before she moves on to the second phase of chemo. But that is good news. She's doing well. Her blood values are good, and everything seems to be going in the right direction. It's not easy, but we're holding serve, and she's doing well. All right, so let's see here. The chat just jumped. Papa says, "I love the Ojimbo I got from Gonzo." Yeah, the Ojimbo's it's a cool knife. I've always wanted to check one out, but I've only ever seen a Ujumbo. And I was like, I don't know. It's kind of a big knife. It's a little bigger than I would really like. This I can definitely carry, so I'm pretty excited about this trade. I broke my favorite stone. You mean your favorite sharpening stone? That sucks. How did you drop it? I broke a stone one time. I bought an expensive Arkansas stone set, and I dropped the first freaking day I had it. I dropped the fine stone, the thinner stone. I dropped it on the floor and broke the end off of it. I was so freaking mad. That's why I don't really use them anymore. I pretty much sharpen off of a work sharp field sharpener, the one that you can do everything, including stropping off of. And if I need better sharpening than that, then I go over to my Precision Elite, the little brace on it, and I do all the rest of my sharpening on that. Let's see, Gonzo, you need to jump on a 5 for 5 one Tuesday. And yes, by the way, so yes, while we're on the subject of that, okay, I know most of you know what the 5 and 5 is, but just in case some people who haven't been in here in a while don't know, all right, I do a 5 and 5, and all you have to do is let me know that you're interested in participating, and I will have you on. You don't have to show your face. You can put the camera down on the knives on a desktop or a table or whatever, but contact me at eionansedge@gmail.com or on Instagram at eionans_edge if you would like to take part in a 5 and 5 knife show and tell on an upcoming episode. And as many of you know, I do not limit you to 5 knives. I just say you have to bring 5 knives with you to come on. And you can take more than 5 minutes. If you've got 8 knives or 7 knives, or a lot of times people will say, "Here's my 5 and 5, and then here's my bonus knives," and they'll show a couple of other knives as well. And it can be anything. I don't care if they're family heirlooms, fancy kitchen knives, fixed blades, pocket folders, budget knives, or you want to bring on a Koenig Arius, whatever. You can bring on anything you like. So do that. If you have not got a hold of me, I would highly encourage you. As long as you own 5 knives, you could do it. Right? You got 5 knives, you can come on. So anyway, enough about that. Let's move back to comments and see what else we got going on here. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's see here. Wow. I don't know if I have the right camera for it. Any decent webcam will work. I'm not using a very expensive camera right now. I'm just using a Logitech 920, I think it is. And that works really well. I am getting ready to upgrade the camera for the channel. I will hopefully be having a Canon T5i that I can use for a bit, from my good friend Neil, who is a member of the channel, a former coworker, and a fellow music and knife and pew pew lover. And he is going to loan me his T5i so I can see how I like it. So big kudos to Matt. I mean, sorry, to Neil. I was looking at Matt on here. Tree Stab and Troy is in the house. Yes, kudos to Neil. Tree Stab and Troy is in the house. Hi, everyone. Starting my night hike with the doggo and listening. Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. There is a story time coming up, so don't go away or don't tune out, okay? Joe Kasperick says, Eionan's so late. Had a long day. Hope everyone is well. What's up, everybody? Well, first of all, Joe, thanks for coming in. Thanks for stopping in. As always, I love it when additional minions pop into the stream. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, everybody, to hit the like button. There's like 40 people in here. So hopefully we've got 35 or 38 or we got 30 likes. So some of you guys are slacking. I know there's people listening and driving home in their cars and out on hikes, but we should have more than 30 likes. So don't forget to hit the like button for me. Let's see. Knife Nut says, got to go pick up dinner. Hopefully, I'll be back soon. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping in, Knife Nut. I do appreciate it. Greetings going on. I do have a Samsung S22, so that would probably work. Yes, it probably would work, honestly, because you wouldn't be going through YouTube anyway. You would be clicking on a StreamYard link, and it's just a browser, basically. So you could probably do it with a good cell phone. Other people have done that. So, yes, Ant, get a hold of me. Hit me up on email, and we'll get you on here one of these upcoming Tuesdays. I've only got one person right now scheduled for the next couple weeks. Neil says he's got to go. All right, brother. We'll be in touch. I'm going to see you on Friday. I'll text you anyway and find out what's a good time to stop by. I may bring a couple of records with me for you to check out too. But thanks for coming into the stream, Neil. As always, good friend. Always glad to have him in here. He's probably working today. He's probably listening on his lunch break. All right, folks. So good night to Neil. All right, let's see here. Yeah, budget guy says I use an S20 and it's fine. Yeah, so an S22 is probably more than sufficient to get you going. So hit me up, Ant, either at my Gmail account or over on Instagram if you're over there. Send me a message on either one of those, and we'll make that happen. Native Wildman says, anyone ever used Sharpening Supplies house stones? If so, how are they? I've never used them myself, sir. Somebody else here in the stream might be able to comment on that for you, though. Ann says, all righty, I'm in. Okay, let's make it happen. All right, we'll figure out a date and time, and we'll get you on here in an upcoming Tuesday live stream. Urban Woodsman, my backwoods outdoor brother. How are you doing, sir? Good to have you in here tonight. You did not miss story time, by the way, either. Some more greetings going on, people talking to each other. O-Tip, I have so O-Tip's in here. I did not see him. Oh yeah, I see people greeting O-Tip. What's going on? Other than intended purposes is in the house. Thank you, sir, for stopping by. Okay, so eionansedge@gmail.com or my Instagram account, Eionans_edge. Either of those places, you can hit me up on an instant message, and we will get you in here for 5 and 5. And like I said, if you own 5 knives, if you just own 5 knives, you can come on and do 5 and 5. You don't have to tell us that those are your only 5 knives, but if you own at least 5 knives, you can come on and do it. All right? All right. He says, finally caught one of these lives. I always miss the Eionan's Edge for some reason. Yeah, I understand, brother. Life is busy. The last couple of weeks, I've been popping in and out of lives when I had the time. And Wilby says, I use StreamYard with Mike Emler to watch movies or UFC fights with my phone, and it works great. There you go. Yep. So it'll work fine. YouTube has some restrictions on cell phone usage for being on videos, but if you go to StreamYard, you don't have to worry about that. Yep, O-Tip is in here. Urban Woodsman is in here. So a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick. I already mentioned there will be a special Halloween live, and there will be handkerchiefs, several of them, Halloween themed, made by Mrs. Edge, just for you guys, just for you and you and you and you and yeah, you over there too. So anyway, and there will be a sharp, slicey thing too that I'm going to give away. But the big thing is going to be the holiday one. So that Halloween live will be the Tuesday before Halloween. And then the holiday live, when we get a little closer, I will decide whether I'm going to do it the week before which is probably what's going to happen, or I'm going to do it right after. But you will not want to miss that. There are 12. Wait, 1, 10, 10. I need 2 more fingers. Let me take off my socks. There are 12. 12 for that. And the word of the week one, get your word of the weeks in before the end of November, is going to be a big one. Okay. Gonzo says, thinking about doing a carving video. That'd be cool. My dad used to whittle small animals like birds and bears and foxes and stuff. He used to whittle them out of a piece of little block of wood, which I thought was super cool. Unfortunately, I don't have one. I don't have one of those little Welkies. So that kind of makes me sad. Anyway, here's my question to you folks. You know, I like to throw out a chat question just to kind of get us closer to the end of the live stream when I get to story time. Is there one type of blade you have no interest in and or you wouldn't buy? Is there one type of blade that you're like, right? I have one, but I'm curious about the rest of you folks. I'm just curious what you guys are interested in, right? I mean, we're not interested in terms of blades. Maybe you don't like Persians. Maybe you don't like tantos. Maybe you don't like reverse tantos. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just curious if there's a type of blade that you're just not interested in or not very crazy about. Like, I wouldn't buy a knife because it's got that on it. So I want to know what that is. Tree Stab and Troy, so I think they're talking about whittling. He said, we did bar of soap with Hitlin and Cub Scouts. Whittling. Okay, yeah. Right. So yeah, that's what they teach you with soap, right? Because it's easy and you don't have to put a lot of pressure in there and you can learn to carve stuff out of soap. Ant says, at Eionan's Edge, sent you a message on Instagram. I am bleeding our ADC over there. Okay, gotcha, brother. We will hook up and we will discuss that. You and G-Ball are both going to be coming on then in the next couple of episodes. So there you go, folks. You know who at least 2 of my upcoming 5 and 5 guests will be. I'm anxious to have Ant on because he's never been on the live stream before. So that will be fun. Okay. Let's see. Native Wild Man says, I can't read tonight. He said, normally the American tantos. Okay. So he's not a fan of tantos. Got it. David Iverson says cleaver type blades. So when you say cleaver type blades, would that be like a Kaiser sheepdog that has a kind of a cleaver type blade? Or are you talking a real cleaver type blade that comes out and drops straight off in the front like an actual meat cleaver? Got some pumpkins and shitty spoons. Mike Reese says, I think I like all of them. I have zero interest in karambits. Okay. So there you go. I'm not interested in karambits either, but I have a specific blade type that I wouldn't probably buy. If somebody gifted me a karambit, a nice one, I certainly would probably take it, but it's not high on my list. Persians, but warnings disappoint me every time. That's surprising because there's so many different Wharncliffe blades out there. So many different ones that there has to be something out there that you probably would like. They've never been on anyone's live, but we're going to change that. We're going to change that very soon, brother. So thanks for hitting me up. We'll make it go. Beard Doom says zero interest in Hawkbill blades. So Hawkbills, I have some interest in them because there's obviously some of the direware knives that my good friend Satu Dave have blades that are kind of like Hawkbills or mild reverse recurves and things like that I think are pretty cool. But I probably would go for one of the other designs by them. I would probably go for one of the other direware blade styles over a Hawkbill or a recurve. And by the way, speaking of that, recurve is the blade style I would not want to buy. Now, that being said, one of my all-time favorite knives is a ZT-0350. I have one of those with the DLC-coated black blade. And if you know anything about those knives, you know that they have a mild recurve in them. But it is very mild, and it is not that difficult at all to sharpen if you have any sharpening skill. It's easy to do it on a ceramic rod. It's easy to do it on a Work Sharp Precision Adjust Elite. because the actual plates are fairly narrow and you can get around that very, very mild recurve. But a recurve for me would be one that I have no interest whatsoever in. And Hawkbill would probably be a close second. Let's see. Blazeburger said, compound grinds never float my boat, but spear points always tickle my pickle. I like spear points. I mean, it's a great stabbing knife. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Yeah, Gonzo says, we will break you in, Ant. This is not a super tough crowd, but they have their moments. Iggy says, Eionan, you just rattled off all of my unfavorites. Persian Tantos and any fuck. Yeah, there you go. Right? Although I do like trailing points that are not quite Persians. Like, for instance, the Kunwu Ronin is a trailing point blade, and that is a gorgeous looking knife. And that is not a hard knife to sharpen at all. So let's see. Anybody else mentioning here what they don't like? Only like a Hawkbill for garden. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. Right? Because you get that little cut at the end of something. Sheepdog and traditional cleaver blades on an EDC. Okay, gotcha. Gut hook skinners and Persian trailing points. Okay, Persian trailing points. Yeah. Let's see, but Persian, yeah, right? So let's see. Let's see, and they look awesome, but for use, they annoy me. I cut a lot of food with my EDC knives. Yep. Let's see. Urban Woodsman says, I'm strongly against drastic recurves, Hawkbill, and Persian blades. I have no use for them, but they do look cool. It is true. They do look cool. Oh, we got some spam. Some spam of lamb in here. Look at this. Bang. 69mega.com. Only Putin didn't find girls with us. I'm at the big time. I'm getting spam again. I know one of you two mods will take care of that, so not a big deal. Yeah, Hawkbill is something I have no interest in. O-Tip says, every knife I own needs to be usable by me. I don't own Save Queens. Yeah, I don't do Save Queens. Yeah, and here's the thing. I do not have a single knife in my collection that I've not actually used, that I've not actually put in my pocket and carried at some point. There's knives that I use a lot more than others. There's knives that I haven't taken out and hard used, say, in other words, I haven't taken them hiking with me or gone on a camping trip and used them in that manner. But every knife I have is a potential user. And that's why there's certain knives in certain price points. I'm like, I don't know if I'd ever buy that, because I'd have a hard time looking at a knife as a piece of art that I could never use. You know what I mean? If I ever got gifted a Koenig Arius, I'm using that son bitch. If it gets scratched, I don't give a shit. It's getting used. So that's just the way I am. Like, I am not going to buy a knife and set it in a display case. That ain't going to happen. Let's see. BOD says, damn it, Sheila, I told you not to bother my stream with your spammy spam. Yoon's notice how he just skated over my joke. What did I what? I don't know. I missed it. I didn't realize there was a joke there if you're talking about me. Let's see. I like Hawkbills. They're made for pruning, carpet, and self-defense. Let's see. Lansky Magic Box, Disman's rods for Lansky Magic Box, Disman's rods for recurve is what I use. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Yep. I could see using that, right? So yeah, recurves, right? I just don't want to mess. I just don't want to bother with them. There's plenty of other knife designs out there for me not to mess around with a recurve. Your comment up above, BOD, I will get with you. I was going to talk to you about this week anyway, but I just kind of didn't have time. But now that I'm off for a few days, I will talk to you about something that you posted up above in the comments. Stephen Wallace is in here too. He says, I don't like serrated blades, too much curve and finger rings. Okay, I'm not a fingering person. And so he brought up a good point before I get to story time here in just a few more minutes. Serrated blades. So I have some knives that have combo edges on. And I think one of the biggest issues I have, one of the reasons I personally, and some of you might agree with me, one of the reasons I don't like combo edges on knives a lot of times is because knife manufacturers, plain and simply, they fucking suck at combo blades. And here's what I mean by that. I am not cutting 2-inch multi-stranded giant ship rope with a combo edge. I might have to cut a piece of rope that I use at work. I might have to cut a pallet strap. I only need 2 or 3 teeth on a combo blade, like maybe that much, like a half an inch. So I get a knife and it has a 2.5 or a 3-inch blade, and they put an inch and a half of serrations on it, and then they give me this much blade at the end of it to cut with. Freaking hate that. They don't understand. For some reason, they don't understand. If I'm going to cut that much rope, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a full serrated blade. I'm going to buy a Spyderco or something that has a full serrated blade, because that's all I do all day is cut things that I need serrated edges for, right? Otherwise, I want 2 or 3 teeth max. If it's a small blade, I want 2 teeth. That's plenty for me to cut through a 3/8 or half-inch thick piece of aluminum or nylon corded rope. No problem. And then I can finish with the fine edge of the blade to get through the last few strands, right? So for me, combo edges are no-go most of the time because knife manufacturers do not freaking know how to make a good one. If you take away my fine cutting edge and it has a ton of serrations on it, I'm not buying that knife. That's just me. Maybe some of you guys agree, but I think combo blades are typically done poorly, and that's why I don't own a lot of them. Will B says, I have one knife with a combo edge. I won it from Scab. It's an outdoor user, and I love it for outdoor stuff. It's great. I don't EDC it, though. That's my go-to-hell knife. Okay, there you go, right? And again, you're going to be cutting through a lot of tough stuff, and that serrated edge is going to help you get through stuff so a little better, and you don't have to dull your regular cutting blade, right? Let's see. Anyone else order the pre-order of the EMP EDC relative? Sezzled it, but the dollar's turn. I just couldn't do it. I'm not that excited about it. I hope that they do a second or third production run on the Nimble X, but I just didn't have the money for the relative. I just bought a Devo Stout that I just finished paying for, and I still have 2 payments to go on my Nimble W. So, nope, I did not get a relative. My oldest knife is a combo edge Benchmade. It's been used and sharpened so many times that my next sharpening will eliminate the last remnants of the serration. That's a lot of sharpening. And Zach's stuff, he has an old 940 that came with a combo edge. They're done. That particular knife was done right, the 940 combo, because it had about an inch of serrated edge at the back of the blade, and then that whole reverse tanto front was all fine edge. That's the way to do it. But his is like that too. It's been sharpened down so many times that basically the edges of the serrations have been sharpened off of it. He showed it on one of his live streams one time. It was one of his very first 940s. And Zach has a lot of them, but that's how much the knife has been used. Yeah, I have a few combo blades, none of which I bought. Only Legion Tactical Cutlery. First of all, thanks for stopping in. He says, only knife I like serrated is full serrations. Right. And again, that's because knife manufacturers just don't understand what you're using the knife for. If it's a small or a medium-sized knife, it does not need 2.5 inches of serrations on a 3.5-inch blade. Sorry, guys, it doesn't. Let's see. I hate partial serrated edges also. I don't mind partial serrations. I just don't like the way most, I would say 90% of the companies out there do them. Amazon dive knife was tanto, no serrations. Like BRB, it's all wrong. Yeah, I agree. Like they don't get it right. I got the relative on pre-order. So Papa Rhino's getting one. That's cool. I'm glad somebody's gonna get one. It's a cool knife. I mean, I'm a big fan of EMP EDC. I just don't have the money to buy everything that comes out all the time. All right. So let's see what else we got here. Leland Phil jumped in late. He says, I'm here, but work lurking. Oh, okay. So he's been around. Cool. What flavor did you get, Papa Rhino? They want to know which one of the relatives you got. I guess that's what they're looking for. O-Tip says, since my early knife training was mostly in bushcrafting, that bottom 2 inches of blade is what I use 90% of the time. I need it to be a fine edge. Right, exactly. So there's different reasons why people don't like combos. I don't mind combos, but like I said, I feel like they're done wrong most of the time, in my opinion. So if a knife's gonna have a combo blade, it better be done right, right? The size of the knife, the style of the blade, it doesn't seem to always get taken into consideration when they start adding serrations. They're like, this looks cool. Let's add 6 serrations to this knife and leave you a little bit of blade to cut with. Oh my God, the spam bots are back. Urban says, I got the Magna cut with bronze, like the pops of color. Yep, so we got some spam bots back in here. Boom. I know you guys probably already killed them because my chat is a little delayed from yours. The only serrated blade I like is on the Victorinox that has the serrated edges at the tip. That would be cool too, right? So you get the regular cutting surface and then you got a little serrations up at the tip. For me, most of the time, when I use a combo blade, like I said, it's for cutting small pieces of rope at work. Like that's the most common thing I use it for. But I can do that very good with a knife that has good blade steel that has a fine edge. So I don't necessarily need a combo blade to cut through that. If the knife is properly sharpened, for most part, you don't need serrated knives, but that is just my opinion. And I don't disagree with that. Like I said, there's really not much I can't do with a fine edge knife. You know what I mean? There's virtually nothing I can't do with a fine edge knife that I can do with a knife that has serrations. It just sometimes makes it a little easier to rip through things. Brashear Bear says, am I the only one here who doesn't like tie or metal handles? I find them slick. Give me McCarter or G10. That's a personal thing. I like both. Here's my, as a knife content creator and a reviewer, here's my thing on that. If the knife is tie and doesn't have McCarter or G10 or something like that, then it needs to have good ergos and it needs to have well-placed jimping. Those two things are important. If I can't get a lot of grip from the ergos of the knife and preferably some jimping, then I'm going to probably prefer that I have handles with texture, right? Now there are tie knives that have textured titanium too, right? They put milling in the titanium. There's a bunch of examples of that. So again, it really depends on the manufacturer, but I can see that, right? If that is your number one thing, if the ability to grip the knife and hold on to it is important, then McCarter or tie might be a better McCarter or G10 might be a better choice for you. Right. Sharp knife is as effective on most items as serrated blades. I agree. So hey, listen, guys, we got about 10 minutes left here till the top of the hour, till my live stream ends. I go make some dinner and I start listening to Tri-State. But before that happens, story time. Story time, story time. Thanks for all the cool chat topics that we had in here tonight. I dig it a lot. So I think I just closed something I wasn't supposed to close, but that's okay. I will survive. Okay, so story time. I need my knife slick for easy sheathing in the prisons. Beard of Doom says, I don't like McCarta. I need my knife slick for easy sheathing in the prisons. Bradshaw, I prefer wood or McCarta, but there are a few with aluminum scales that are pretty decent. I don't know anything with tie. I like tie, but like I said, there are different styles of knives for me that I like for different reasons. If I buy a knife with tie on it, it's got to have good ergos. I've got to feel like when I put it in my hand that the tie is gonna do what I expect it to do. Okay, so anyway, Jake from Ohio State, you came in just in time for story time. Okay, here we go, guys. Story time with Eionan, right? Gather round, minions. Gather round. Grab your blankets and your pillows and your popcorn. Future story time needs to be narrated by Beard of Doom. That might be pretty funny, actually. Right. Iggy says, yippee, blankie, popcorn, and comfy couch. All right, here we go. Here we go, folks. Get ready. We're going to do story time. I think, depending on how long this takes, I might have time for 2. We'll see. But tonight's first story time is going to be a Marine story. It's going to be a military story from my time in the Marines. That's right. Gather round. Gather round, children. It's story time with Unky. So this is a story from my time in the Marines. So I was an infantry Marine. I was 0351. And there's a lot of sort of rites of passage type things that happen in the military. I don't know about what happens and what they call them in other branches, but there's lots of small rites of passage things that happen in the military, and they're not all like you see on A Few Good Men in Code Red, where they're gonna go kill some guy like that. That I'm not saying blanket parties and attitude adjustments didn't happen to people in both in boot camp and out in the fleet, but that stuff it usually isn't quite the way the movies portray it. Sometimes it is, but not very often. But there are lots of small rites of passage where you come into a unit or you get out to a new MOS, new job function, and people want to kind of, they want to make you part of the group. So in the Marine Corps and probably in other branches that have infantry type, specialties, we had this thing called E-tool qualification. So for those of you who don't know what an e-tool is, just in case there's somebody who doesn't know, I'm going to share an e-tool so you guys can understand what an e-tool looks like, okay? So this is what an e-tool looks like, okay? It is a folding shovel, right? An entrenching tool, okay? So you get issued one of these. I didn't have one with a spike on it on the back like this one here has, but basically that folded position, that second one you see where it's half folded, that is the position that the e-tool is actually in for what is called e-tool qualification. Okay? So now what happens is, this is how it usually goes down. And after I became a more senior Marine, I would do this too. Usually one of the senior Marines will ask you, is this your first time out in the field with our unit? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So then, especially if you're a new guy and you're fresh out of one of your schools, and what they'll do is they'll take a quarter out of their pocket and they'll say, hey, have you been e-tool qualified yet? Okay. And they basically say, if I got a quarter here in case you haven't been e-tool qualified. And then if you haven't, you're like, what the F is e-tool qualified? Then they're like, okay, well, we're going to get you e-tool qualified. So here's what they do. You take off your shirt, your blouse, your top, and you take off your hat, and you put that stuff down, and they blindfold you. They put a blindfold on you. But before they blindfold you, you're on your hands and knees, and you got the e-tool in that half curved position, and you're holding a hold of both sides of the handle there. And what they do is they put the quarter on the ground. And the idea is that you have to use the e-tool to hit the quarter. Preferably, you are able to chop the quarter in half. You're able to hit it with the e-tool, which usually are pretty sharp and it's hardened steel, and you can slice the quarter in half or cut a section of it off. But you have to hit it. That's the whole point. You have to hit it. So what they do is you get on your hands and knees, you got the e-tool over your head like this, and they let you kind of get it lined up in the right spot so that you kind of know where the quarter is, and then they blindfold you. And then you have to, with the blindfold on, you have to take the e-tool up here and you have to try to hit the quarter, right? So they let you do it a couple times and see how close you get, right? And and let you get kind of close and it'll be okay, right? You got pretty close that time. And they go, okay, one more time, give it a shot. So, me, I missed the quarter the first 2 tries, but I got really close. Like I dug in right next to it in the dirt. So what happens is you bring the e-tool back for that final shot, that final try that you're going to get, and they take your cover, which is your hat that's on the ground, and they throw it on the ground right where the quarter is. So you go, ka-chunk, and they go, oh, that was awesome. Do it again. You do it again. And so you come back, and you hit it again, right? Guess what? You just chopped your cover in half. So now your cover, your Marine Corps hat that you wear is all chopped up. It's got big hack marks through the top of it, and you're out in the field. And most of the time, so you don't have to bear the humiliation, you end up wearing your Kevlar helmet. And people are like, what the fuck is he wearing this helmet everywhere? It's because you don't want people to know that you got caught in e-tool qualification. You chopped your cover, your hat, all up into pieces with one of those e-tools, thinking that you were trying to chop a coin up. So that's the big joke. And then when you get to do it to other people, it's kind of funny. But that is e-tool qualification. So everybody pretty much knows. Sometimes people don't care that everybody knows that they got E-Tool qualified, and they'll just walk around with their cover all beat up until there's officers around, and then they'll be like, "Shit, I can't walk around with this cover that's got big holes in it or got the bill chopped out." One guy chopped the bill right off of his cover, so he couldn't wear it. So he had to walk around with his Kevlar on for the rest of the day. But that is E-Tool qualification in the Marine Corps. So I have been E-Tool qualified. Yes, I did. Slice a big asshole in the top of my Marine Corps cover. Anywho, that is that. That is E-Tool qualification. Man, the spammers are just killing it today. Chat 69 XYZ. Hopefully one of my mods has reported that. Nice to see everyone have to run, take care, of a fantastic night. That's terrible and hilarious at the same time, Iggy says. It is terrible and hilarious at the same time. Unfortunately, it is 5 o'clock. I did have another story on tap. It's a little bit longer, so I will save that for next Tuesday. Maybe I'll start story time a little earlier. I might get to do 2 stories next week. But I want to thank everybody for stopping in. This is the last week of my vacation, so I will definitely be back next week, and I am back on the every other week for the Saturday socials. So once again, thank you to everybody who stopped into the live stream tonight. I greatly appreciate everyone coming in, and basically, thanks. Thanks as always for coming in. I'll thoughts and prayers for Mrs. Edge. She watches all the live streams. She always makes note of it. She always says how much she appreciates it. We're in the last week of chemo this week. Let's hope that goes well. I will see you all next week, folks. So have a great night. I'll see some of you in a little while over on Tri-State EDC. See you, folks. Stay sharp.